The reason I'm standing is that over the last 30 years, Ireland has changed from a conservative defensive position to an aggressive circular tradition.
Say it again?
It has changed from a defensive conservative tradition to a to an aggressive circular society.
Circular?
Yeah.
Secular.
Secular, yeah.
Sorry, right, yeah.
And what has happened, what has happened is that we're a young society going into a society that is aging, and we didn't have the competent MEPs to protect our young people in such a society.
Protect them from what?
In Europe, they need to make investments for their old age. And it was easy for international financiers to get the Europeans to invest in, say, subprime in the States. 50% of the subprime in the States was lost by European investors because the European investors also invested in the Irish mortgages, buying up the Irish mortgages.
What's this got to do with the European Parliament?
What this has got to do with European Parliament...
And what's it got to do with Ireland being now an aggressive secular society, whereas previously it was a defensive conservative society?
Yeah, well what has happened is that in the European Parliament there was a debate around 2004 and 2005 in connection with a finance directive, and the restrictions on the finance directive were that there will be very low loan-to-value on mortgages that can be lent out and can be securitised. And the IFSC banks did not agree with that. They wanted a higher loan-to-value for the Irish young people, okay? And they contacted the Department of Finance, the financial regulator, and they put forward an Irish position to get these restrictions dropped, to have a higher loan-to-value on the mortgages. And they got our MEPs on side, and especially the MEPs that were involved with Econ, which is the Economics Committee, and with the result that the restrictions were dropped after the representations by the MEPs. And as a result of this, the international banks could come into Ireland, lend over 100% mortgages, up to 100% mortgages, and these were now eligible to be securitised, be sold up to European investors. And what has happened is that the money was coming in so fast that they couldn't build houses fast enough, and the price of property went up. Now, what has happened is that you've got young people in massive negative equity. I would say this is kind of this would be an attack on the family, because you have, from a traditional point of view, or else from a capitalist, materialist point of view, if you have half the youth in the country in negative equity, it's as great as insult you could put them under.
You blame the European Union for the housing bubble here.
I blame the MEPs for passing the higher loan-to-value. Pardon?
We did it all ourselves.
No, it started. See, the MEPs got the Department of Finance and the financial regulator, and the banks got the financial regulator and the Department of Finance and the MEPs on board. There was nobody to represent the mortgage holder in putting forward an Irish position.
Parliament, all right, Alexander, why are you running for the European Parliament?